everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys today? I am bringing to you a really cute card. Here it is right here in blue. Isn't it pretty? Love it. I am showing you a technique called whitewash, and I'm using a bundle called Nature's Harvest. It is a die set and stamp set, and it is located on page 56 of the mini catalog, which is from July to December of 2021. This is the stamp set and die bundle. It's on page 56, but it's also part of a larger suite. The whole suite is called Harvest Meadow Suite, and these are samples right here, but this is what comes in the suite. You have the bundle, which is the stamp set and the dies. You have this really beautiful embossing folder. We're going to use that today. Pretty embroidered ribbon and these metallic backed dots. Some cork paper, which is like super awesome cool. It's thin like paper, but it's actually cork. And then we have this beautiful designer series paper, which is always nice as well. So if you're interested, you can shop at Inky Hands Warm Hearts. I would appreciate it. It helps me bring you videos. And I will show you some more things to do with the set, as I have 7 days worth of content on this set on my blog. Just go ahead and search for Nature's Harvest, and you should be able to find that no problem at inkyhandswarmhearts.com. I will also put the link in the description below so that you can get to my blog. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me clear this area out and we can get started stamping. I'm going to stack all these ink pads together, put my card there. Move the stamp set out of the way, and the dies that we're going to be using, a few dies. This one right here is from this die set right here. It's called So Sentimental. I'm sorry, Stitched So Sweetly. The stamp set that used to go with it was So Sentimental. I'm so sorry. It's called Stitched So Sweetly. And I love these little scalloped rectangles. They're so cute, and I think it makes a beautiful focal point. So we're going to be using that today. This is the die set that comes with the bundle, and it is a big one, as you can see. It has 2 sets of dies, 2 magnet sheets it took for me to put these on here, and some really beautiful florals, and you can see this is one of them. And then I'll show you the inside. I have used this flower here on the inside. Isn't that pretty? So quite a bit. So there's a lot going on here. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we are going to be doing is folding our cardstock in half. So let's go ahead and take our 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock and fold that in half with our bone folder. That gives me a really nice crease. Now we are going to be using the time-worn type embossing folder, which is this, cranking it through our die cut machine, and when it comes out, it looks like this. And this piece is 5.25 by 4 inches, and that's going to get laid over the top. It has some texture on it. You can see the texture really good on here because I have highlighted it in blue, and I'm going to do the same thing for you here. This piece we're going to slip into the inside, and we're going to attach our die cut, which I have also already cut out for you. There it is. So this is going to get glued to the inside just like that. And then once we have done our sponging or our piece, we're going to attach this, isn't this beautiful, over the top, and we're going to go ahead and sponge that. So the die cut has already been cut out as well. Here it is. That's going to get layered there, but first we're going to stamp it, and we're going to just do a little stamping on a scrap piece right here. So that's the card in summary. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I am going to do is I am going to be using this words, and it says, "Sending healing thoughts, may nature's beauty bring peace to your soul." But I just want the sending healing thoughts part. So we are going to use a piece of tape. So let me grab a piece off my dispenser. Tape works really good as a mask. And we're going to kind of place this over the words that we do not want to be inked. And I didn't quite cut that long enough, so we'll grab another piece here and attach it on this end. You can also use a Post-it note, although this is rather big for a Post-it note, but I am going to push this down and make sure that these hanging letters get inked up rather well. All right, and we're going to do this piece first and get this part done. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to take our Memento ink, and I'm going to grab a scrap paper to put underneath here. We're going to ink that up, and I'm going to ink it upside down so that I can make sure that all my letters get inked, that I can see the bottom of these letters that are hanging. That one looks good. This one may need a little help. There we go. I think I got all of those. So go ahead and cover my pad. And now the first thing you have to remember is to pull this tape off. If you do not pull this tape off, you're going to end up with a black line, and you don't want that. So to get rid of it, we're going to go ahead and turn this inside on itself, and that way I won't get ink on my hands, and I can just deposit this into the trash can, which I'm doing right here off camera. So here we're going to do Sending Healing Thoughts, which is the part that we have inked. I'm going to bring this down so I can see what I'm doing here. And we will go ahead and attach this right on here as so. I'm going to slide my finger over the top, and when I lift, there are the words that I was looking for. So that's that stamping. Now we're going to ink onto our little scalloped rectangle right here. Also in this ink, and because this is a large stamp, I'm also going to ink it upside down so that I can make sure that all my areas are covered. There we go, just like that. And we are going to position this onto the rectangle and press down and deposit our ink like so. Isn't that pretty? It's such a beautiful stamp set. So let's go ahead and I'm going to stamp the excess onto here. Same with this. I like to do that so that I don't flood my chamois with too much ink. And then we're going to go ahead and clean that off. All right, nice and clean. Go ahead and put those stamps out of the way. That's it for stamping. But we're not done with ink. So we're going to do this last. Let's go ahead and attach. Before we attach this, we're going to go ahead and use our Misty Moonlight with our blending brush. We're going to pick up some color, and I'm going to dab off that dark spot. I don't want a really dark spot anywhere. I just want it to be a light brushing over the top to really pull all of those words and worn pieces off of this embossing folder and have them kind of pop off the page. I think it's super pretty. We're going to do the same thing with what's left over on this brush, which is actually nothing. So we're going to go ahead and ink that up again. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and add some blue in a circular motion really delicately, holding on to my pieces so that they don't fly off. And I'm going to deposit that blue onto those edges like that. Isn't that pretty? And we're going to go ahead and attach that onto our card. So I'm going to use a wet adhesive, and I like to use it when I have like divots like this in this embossing folder has made into the paper, because all those little grooves this wet adhesive will seep into and really help hold it down. We're going to use it a couple more times, that wet adhesive, but let's go ahead and attach this. Make sure it opens from the right direction. It does. And we're going to lay this onto our cardstock. The other nice thing about using wet glue is it gives you that little bit of wiggle room. So there's that, and let's go ahead and grab my silicone mat because this piece is rather skinny, and I'm gonna put the adhesive on it while it's on here so that I don't make a big mess across these skinny little pieces. And if I get glue, it won't be on my mat, but I mean, it'll be on the silicone mat and not on my desk surface. Make sure that I put it on all of these pieces. Okay, and I'm gonna use my tweezers because, like I said, I don't wanna get glue on my hands. Let's move that out of the way, and we are gonna put these right here on the edge. I think they're so pretty. I really wanted to add a little bit of an accent onto our piece, and then I'm gonna brush a little bit more over the top, kind of to darken it. There we go. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Love that. Okay, let's go ahead and adhere our other flower to the inside of the card. I'm gonna use the same silicone mat, and I'm gonna put the adhesive. It'll be a lot easier for you to see now on this piece because it's dark. Make sure I'm in camera for you. And again, I'm going to use my tweezer to pick up my piece. And I'm going to glue that on this side of my card. And then once I have glued that down, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal adhesive. And it's a tape runner. And we are going to deposit tape onto our card like that. And then this goes on the inside. All right. Looks good. What do you think? Pretty nice, right? So now let's get back to our beautiful cone flower. I'm going to show you a technique, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to use this little block. For this particular piece, let's go ahead and knock this out while I can. I'm going to use my scissors, and as you can see here, these edges have been angle cut, so I'm just going to cut up on this one, I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to cut down on this one, and then this will be attached later, but at least it'll be ready to go when the time comes to glue that down. This is what we have so far. So to get our little flower the way we want it, we are going to apply some Whisper White craft ink onto our piece, and we're going to use a blender pen. When you buy the blender pens, they come on 3 in a package, and I always designate one to craft ink, and so I've written white craft on this end, and I put a little Sharpie mark all the way around it, so I know that this one I'm using with the craft ink. So I'm going to come here, and I'm just going to grab some of that onto a block, and this is going to become my palette. I'm just going to dip my blender pen in here, pick up some white, and I am going to run it along these petals. Now, the most important thing to remember is not to cover the black outlines of the outer portions of the petal. You do not want to cover those up. You want those to show so that they are in contrast with this white. And every time I run a little low on the white ink, I'm going to go ahead and pick up some more. Now, what I want you to realize is that first, when you do this, you think, oh my God, I've ruined it. It's ugly, looks horrible, but just have a little faith in yourself. The ink is going to seep in. You can see how much darker it is here than it is on this side, and it's going to seep in, and you're going to see those lines, and all the parts and pieces underneath will show through. Like I said, the most important part is to not cover those petals, those outer petals, because those are what you want to stay stark dark. So you're going to work your way through here, and you're going to deposit this blender pen with this white craft ink over the top. And this works rather well even with used up blender pens that no longer have the glycerin in them. So you can go back over the top if you want it a little darker, and it will continue to seep in to your cardstock as it dries. Got one more flower left to do. Isn't it pretty? I love the look of it. So we're gonna come through here and deposit this white ink, making sure not to cover those outside lines because I really want those to pop. And while I have some on here, I'm gonna darken some of these, just like that. And I'm gonna go back over a couple of these daisy flowers as well up here. Love that. Now, when you're done, you wanna clean that off onto a towel. I also clean my blender brush. I don't like to leave that ink on it, so I just use a rag that I kind of use when I'm stamping all day, and then this ends up, when I do laundry, I throw it in my little laundry, and it always comes out nice. So we're gonna rub this onto, clean our block. Kind of just rub that ink in there. It'll be fine. When it gets it through the wash, it'll come out. So that is that. Now this silicone mat had a little bit of adhesive left on it. I'm gonna go ahead and roll that off. That has dried on there, and that's why I like using this when I do any kind of things that are wet. And I will go ahead and put that away. All right, we're doing awesome. So we have this part done and out of the way. So all that's left is to attach our pieces together, and I am going to use some dimensionals to do that. I know I have some. Oh, there they are in my basket. I'm going to put a few in the corners. And then I'm going to put one in the center. Well, actually, I'm going to put, let's see if I can move that one over. I can. And then I'm gonna put these here. And then on this strip right here, it's just gonna get flat glued with the wet glue, not dimensionalized. So I'm gonna use my take your pick tool, and I like the pointy end because I dig it into these dimensionals, and these backs just pop right off, one right after the other, onto my take your pick tool, and then they don't end up on my craft room floor, which is my favorite part. Once you have quite a few of them on here, it does get a little heavy. You have to kind of remove them, but you can place them directly into the trash can, and then they don't end up on your floor, right? So we're gonna go ahead and attach our beautiful scalloped rectangle and deposit that onto our card. I'm gonna push in the corners and in the center pieces. And then this piece is just gonna get laid right across. I'm gonna use the wet glue. Could have also used the tape runner, but I had the wet glue right here in front of me, so I'm just gonna grab that one quickly. And again, here comes my tweezers. I am gonna position that right where I want it. That looks pretty good to me. Let go. And with that wiggle room, I can wiggle it around till it's straight. And there you go. All finished. I hope you like the card that I have made for you. I have enjoyed making it for you. I want to thank you so much for watching me. And for those of you who stuck through to the end, I greatly appreciate you. I'm kind of new to YouTube, although I have been blogging for over a year. And so I would love to see you visit my blog at inkyhandswarmhearts.com. But because I am new to YouTube, I am looking for likes and comments, shares, and subscribes so that I can get my name out there, and I appreciate all your effort in helping me to do that. So if you would like, comment, share, and subscribe, and ask your friends to do so as well, I would be so, so grateful. Again, if you do subscribe, you'll get notifications of when I will post new videos, so that's good. You'll get to know what's next. And also check out my blog, inkyhandswarmhearts.com. I will link that in the description below. When you go there, you can access PDFs and measurements and more fun projects. I also blog every single day, so there's lots of inspiration for you every day to help you craft. This particular stamp set I have blogged for 7 days, so you will have 7 days of content. And I kind of have a little pattern of how I blog things, so you'll get to learn it as you access my blog. You can also shop for the products at my blog. You click shop with me, and it'll take you to my online store where you can make purchases. And I always thank my customers very much, so I appreciate it if you would become one of my customers as well. Thank you so much for watching again. I am greatly appreciative. And this is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts, and happy stamping, guys. Bye-bye.